All right, Friday, September 2nd, and just following up here on the SPY. This is now at midday, just at noon, and you can see we've had sort of a big change. The daily bar at the moment, after gapping up and looking green and everything else, and taking out that first target, which I told you about, has completely reversed and is now turning red. Now, technically, we're still above the midpoint of yesterday, but given the structure of the day, we're heading lower, and it's just a question: do we take out the midpoint and really continue much lower into the end of the day, or do we just kind of settle in here and kind of a reddish type of day heading into next week? I mean, we'll still find out with a few hours to go. But if you look at the 15-minute chart, again, you had the buy here, the red to green. We were monitoring follow through to the upside here. I was talking about if we can hit this line here to turn the weekly chart green, then we still have a big bias to the downside. We already reached our daily target up here, which was the broadening at this 2-up day. Even though it gapped up, it hit that first target. And anyway, as you watched it here, kind of pause, and let's say this was your entry point. It was a stock. You were in here. At this point, you just saw all this consolidation and then the breakdown. And you knew this is a key. You're not even getting you can't follow through above that first bar high. You certainly didn't reach the weekly area to turn the weekly green. So this is the area that had to, turn the upper end of this pre-market range plus the first bar high. That's the area you really had to follow through higher. And you can just see here, you were holding in that area, not doing it. Now, this whole thing could have resolved to the upside, but when it resolved to the downside, you knew you were in trouble. It would have been more of a break-even trade on any stock you bought here, where you buy it here and you kind of exit here. And this red bar is the sign to go short. I mean, in terms of the day structure. Now, once you go short, you then say, all right, are we going to take out the intraday lows? We obviously did that with the next bar, and now we're heading lower. So the whole structure of the day showed the high of the day being reached here in bar number 5. And now, we'll just see how much lower we go on the day. It could have been the low of the day could have been on bar 3 if we would have, broken out to the upside here, but it didn't do it. So that's why you watch that intraday price action and judge what kind of first move you're getting, some of the key areas, and then see how it relates to that opening bar. As long as you're kind of holding, we knew the red to green, you got to hold kind of the midpoint of that first bar at that point, or really, the low of the day at that point. But whatever, we kind of judged the midpoint of these green bars somewhere in here, and that's where the breakdown occurred. It should have got short if you were trading this thing. It also put you back in line with the bigger picture, where the weekly chart's still red. It looks like we'll probably, if this holds up, we'll close this bar red closer to the bottom. So that means next week I am looking for follow through to the downside. I'll go over those on a recap because we still have 3 hours to go. I'm not going to guarantee how this bar is going to close. This is the weekly bar. I'm not going to guarantee how the daily bar is going to close. But the closer we come to the midpoint of this bar, the closer this could be to just a big failure. We have a lot of negative stuff going on. This could have been just the one little pullback in this downtrend, and now we immediately, we just had it for a couple hours, and now we're just starting back down again, and back again in line with that monthly chart that I'm still really focused on until things change. It should be heading down here, in September all the way to those lows. So let's see what happens. But I just wanted to show you, at least on the daily structure, when you're looking at the pre-market highs and lows, you're looking at that first bar, the red to green that couldn't follow through. You had to know that this was the end of the uptrend for the day. And this is not surprising that we're continuing a lot lower now. And let's just see how weak, this day becomes, and we'll shoot a end of the day weekend video, in a few hours from now.